Coming up on Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte. Words you don't hear very often in regards to an automobile.
And I was so new you could smell the varnish still.
A fabulous 57 with a fabulous Mercury name.
They pulled out all the stops with the Turnpike Cruiser.
And we answer that age-old question. What came first, the car or the tattoo?
The ink came after I picked this car up.
Plus,
Which you can see I transferred onto the new molded carpet already and cut some of them out.
how to play automotive carpet installer in Under the Hood. No, it's not a Speedwagon, but it is an REO.
And used his initials because he couldn't use Oldsmobile again.
Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte, starts right now. Hi everybody, welcome to Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte. I'm Jeff Phelps, and we are at one of the great annual car shows in the Midwest. It's the 54th annual Father's Day car show at Stan Hywet Hall and Gardens in Akron, Ohio. Every year they have a featured car in the inner circle here at Stan Hywet, and this year it's the Chrysler Town Country, the Woody. Was produced for only 7 years through the 1940s, in 41 and 42. Then production ceased for World War II. They came back in 1946, but production ended on the Chrysler Town & Country in 1950. Bob, when you see a Woody and it's on a wagon, it almost looks right because we've seen wood grain on the side of wagons all the way through the 70s. When you see wood on a snazzy convertible, it just has a really different look, and yours really does.
I think it's great.
I do too.
Convertibles are sporty, as you said, but the wood just adds something to it, and I've always loved them ever since I saw my first Town & Country when they first came out in 1948, the convertibles.
Where did you find this one?
This came from California, and I was aware of the car for a number of years, and actually had ridden in it several years prior. And then they found out the owner wanted to sell it, so I made him an offer, and he accepted.
What did this look like when you picked it up?
Pretty much as you see it,
Really?
except it had a tan top, and there were stone chips in the front of the hood. And but other than that, it was basically as you see it.
I like the black top better.
I do too. It lowers the car visually.
How about a yellow interior?
Well, funny you should mention, Chrysler did an ad that year, which actually I have in the trunk, showing a black convertible in a field with a yellow interior, hunters all around, and a hunting dog in the back seat of the car looking at the camera.
You had the visions of the Town & Country from when you were a kid, so much so that you decided to collect them.
Yeah.
You have the other one sitting over here that's absolutely beautiful, the sedan. What is it about the Town & Country that has stuck with you for all these years that made you want to find Town & Countries?
I remember somebody had visited my parents back in '48 when they had a brand new convertible, and I was so new you could smell the varnish still, and it had a leather interior in it, and I was just intoxicated with it. And I've always just wanted them, and I bought my first Town & Country in '63, paid $375 for it. It was a convertible, and the wood had just been redone. That shows you how they had plummeted price-wise because people didn't know how to redo them. Most people didn't at that time. And so a book was written in '73 by Don Naris called Chrysler's Wonderful Woody, the Town & Country. And that kind of sparked a revival of the cars, and then they became very desirable. A club was formed, and it's gone on. And now some of these cars, like this convertible right here, which is the green one, is just freshly restored and would probably be worth about $175 on the market right now.
What is the toughest part about owning a car that has so much actual wood as part of the construction of the car?
Well, when they were new, letting them sit outside was terrible. You know, they rotted away. But now they're in the hands of collectors, and actually, once they're varnished, you don't have much of a problem, you know, as long as you keep the car garage.
They're beautiful.
Thank you.
Jeff, there are many interesting cars floating around this field here today. I've not seen anything else like this. It's a Bentley Special.
Right, it's a Bentley Special, and the category that falls into is a lot of people bought Bentleys with standard sedan bodies on them and then modified them at a later date, and this is what this is in a category of. Now, we have built this car taking the original body off, and we're custom building a racing body for it, and we've built these fenders, hand built them, and we wanted them to look original to the period of the car. We didn't want to make them too shiny or too polished. In fact, our intention with the car is to do it strictly as an unpolished, unpainted car. So the patina that you see, like this fender is about 15 years old, and it's starting to age very gracefully, and this is what we want. So everything we're putting on the car, like these CAV torpedo lamps, they're original from that period, although these lamps actually are older than the car, but they have the look and they have that finish that we're after. And so what we're creating here is a look of a race car, of an original race car, but what we really started with was a sedan from the original car. And so everything is, it's almost like an art project. We get a chance to build what we have, and we use a lot of original Bentleys as our models. I've been to England on several occasions, and I've photographed at some of the museums and some of the collectors original Bentleys from this period, and so I can modify things to this car to get the look that I'm after for it.
How long has this project been underway, Jeff?
I've actually owned this car for about 25 years.
Wow.
And it's kind of been like one of those projects where, you know, it's the last on the line, but now I'm getting to the point where I'm really enthused about it, and so I've decided to put it on the top burner, and so we're working on it daily now.
What inspired you to do with it what it is you're doing with it?
It's probably the look, the idea. In fact, this probably goes a little bit back to my college days of the Avengers program and John Steed driving one of these Bentleys.
Nice.
And it's, you know, there's just a certain mystery to it, and I wanted to create it for myself.
What do you do with the interior? As much of an interior as there is to it.
Right, we're going to put a very Spartan interior in it. We just got these seats rebuilt, and it's interesting because we actually got leather from Scotland for these. It's a standard leather is chromium dyed, and the early leather is vegetable dyed. And so we chose vegetable dyed leather to get that feel and that tactile experience that you would get from a car in the 20s.
How long do you think it'll take to finish her up the way you
I'm
want?
hoping maybe another 2 to 3 years I'll be finished with it. Because right now mechanically it's completed, and it's just a question of skinning the body and then letting it age gracefully like the rest of the car has done. So we really enjoy that unrestored or a modicum of restoration.
Well done. Enjoy the project.
I'm really enjoying it. Thank you very much.
Joe, you're a man who pursued a car, and there it is. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You succeeded. Tell me the story.
Barney Clement from Avon Lake. The story of the car is Barney and his wife Doris bought this car 26 years prior to me purchasing the car. It's an all original car, with the exception of it has one repaint since 1982.
Wow.
I worked with Barney. It actually took me 16 years to talk him out of buying this car. Always going over there, helping him out, you know, doing stuff.
So you pursued it for 16 years.
I pursued it for 16 years.
What put him over the top? Why'd he sell?
He couldn't push the clutch in anymore. He had it. He and Doris had the car for 26 years. He put 9,000 miles on it in 26 years. It just last year turned over 60,000 miles.
Original.
All original miles. Other than the paint, everything on this car is rolled off the showroom in 1936. I'm a Pontiac man at heart, been for years, and I can put that on my mother and father back when I was a young kid. I had to promise to Doris I can never make this a hot rod, and I enjoy it too much as it is to even think about doing that.
I love the grill.
The waterfall grill was a 35 and 36 only thing. That starts up at the cowl and runs all the way down and actually wraps up.
It goes underneath, yeah.
So it's unique to the 35 and 36s.
You said you were a Pontiac man. You have the ink to prove it. What came first, the Pontiacs or the tattoos?
The Pontiacs did. Pontiacs when just out of high school and so forth, but
not this one.
Yeah, the ink came after I picked this car up.
Really?
The original Chief Pontiac one is the one that first came after I picked up the 36, and then the more modern the Pontiac one symbol. But I'm a Pontiac man, and I declare my faith loyalty everywhere I go.
There's an awful lot going on with this machine.
Mercury's answer to accusations that their designs have become staid and old-fashioned.
It's next on Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte.
RK Motors Charlotte wants your classic car. Let our consignment professionals take the aggravation out of the selling process for you. With an established international customer base, the RK Motors Charlotte consignment program has a 90% sell-through rate. Our top-notch marketing efforts have led to an average sale time of 87 days. We do the work, we do the marketing, we sell your classic for you at maximum value. Visit our website at rkmotorscharlotte.com.
Now back to Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte. The featured car here, the Town & Country of the Chrysler. Al, Carol, yours is huge and it's absolutely beautiful. What have you guys done to get this up running back on the road?
We replaced just about all the wood, retooled it just exactly to the specifications of the way it was built. Chrysler built them. There's all the tongue and groove joints that are, you look around the side, that we made it just like so. The wood is new. We can't say it is all original, but it is made to original, just exactly like Chrysler made them.
Al, how did this come about to be yours?
I love old cars, have a number of other ones, and it just piques your interest, and I'd really love one of them someday, and I got a chance to get it and got it, and took a lot of work, but it's here.
Carol, where'd you find it?
We found it in Allegan, Michigan. It was all in pieces. The wood was rotted out, and the back window was broken, and there were a lot of issues. Everything was in boxes, in parts.
How do you take on a restoration project of a car with so much wood in it, Al and Carol? Because it's certainly a different process than taking on a project just restoring a regular car.
Well, Chrysler did give us a bunch of help. They had a couple guys come down and showed us, and we wanted to have all the finger joints proper and everything. They gave us some good ideas, not any financial or other help, but they did, because they are interested in preserving their heritage, and this being one of probably 9, and this one totally restored, they would be interested in it in time to come, so they encouraged me to put the time and work and money into it so they could have it maybe later on.
I think that's interesting that Chrysler would show that interest. What do you do with it now? It's
Show
out
it.
and about? And
Show it and enjoy it.
We drive it for weddings, we drive in parades. We don't drive cross country, but we do. We don't white glove it.
John, of all the 1957 cars that were made, obviously some American icons with the 57 Chevy, I don't know if any of them is quite as interesting as your Mercury Turnpike Cruiser.
Thank you. I saw the car many years ago at the Imperial Palace Museum in Las Vegas. And
This car?
This very car, yes. I pretty much fell in love with it at that point. And as finances allowed, I started looking many years later and looked on the internet and all over, and I could never find one that really was comparable. And I knew a number of years ago the car had been purchased by a gentleman in California, and through a broker contacted him, and he was interested in selling it.
The design on this car, somebody just walked by and said, there's a lot going on that Turnpike Cruiser,
Yeah.
and there really is. What are the features on this car, John, that you like so much?
Well, it's really, there's a lot of milestone design features on it. The Ventaport is a vent above the window that you could open from the inside, and then the rear window would go down, and you would have what they called flow-through ventilation. It's the first year of an attempt at a fully padded dashboard. It's the first year at an attempt of a side marker light. The tail lights wrap around and allow for the side view of the stoplight. Cars of this era, style and design were everything, and they would carry through features throughout the car. If you notice the anodized aluminum insert and chrome trim, that's carried through on the seat base. Okay, see that design feature, they would carry it through into the car there. It was Mercury's answer to accusations that their designs have become staid and old-fashioned. So they pulled out all the stops with the Turnpike Cruiser and really kind of went overboard, but I like it. So.
But by going overboard, they created a car that has become memorable and
Absolutely.
that people just
Yeah.
absolutely love when they see it.
Right, right. I agree. There's a lot of design features that are truly unique about the car.
I used to work in my mom and dad's carpet store, but I never did this.
Your molded edges are right where they need to be in the corners, on the sides, and that's the most important thing of fitting them.
Under the Hood is next on Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte.
RK Motors Charlotte wants your classic car. Let our consignment professionals take the aggravation out of the selling process for you. With an established international customer base, the RK Motors Charlotte consignment program has a 90% sell-through rate. Our top-notch marketing efforts have led to an average sale time of 87 days. We do the work, we do the marketing, we sell your classic for you at maximum value. Visit our website at rkmotorscharlotte.com. Under the Hood is presented by RK Motors Charlotte, specializing in the sale, build, and restoration of world-class collector vehicles.
Our buddy Mr. Mopar has been smiling like crazy. Ralph Farinacci here of RK Motors Restoration, the man who does most of the interior work here at RK Motors, has been working on this 67 Hemi Charger. Have you been okay? Have you been drooling all over this car?
Not drooling, but enjoying putting it together.
You have the carpets out. We're going to go over how you can replace the carpet in your classic car.
Yes, and the car, you go to your molded carpets, which you buy from your supplier for GM, Ford, or Chrysler, and they come in the box, and my suggestion is once you get them, take them out, let them relax, unfold them, let them sit for a few days before you try putting them in. And then when you put them in, the best thing to do is you take the old carpet, which you've pulled out of the car already. It has all your marks, what you need, which you can see I transferred onto the new molded carpet already and cut some of them out.
Just with chalk? You just
use regular old white chalk.
Okay.
You could take a pair of scissors. The front edge here, it still needs to be cut, and what you do is you just cut along your line.
And Ralph, you literally just take this, you plop it on top of this one, and
Right,
and go
you
ahead
just
and draw
lay
your
the
holes.
carpet right on top of here. And you cut everything just like the old carpet, because it fit perfect, so that's exactly what you want to do, is put it back exactly the way it was.
You want scissors, though, and not a razor blade.
Right, I'm not a big fan of razor blades. They will take it too far sometimes, slip, you have a problem, and then you're in trouble. Okay, we got the front edge cut, as you can see. I made the same cuts that were in the old one where I marked them out. The only thing you don't cut out is for your seat holes, because those you could take and cut when it's laying there, just to make sure you have them in right. And once you get it cut, what you do is you just pick the molded carpet up and you lay it in the same way you took the old one out. Putting it right where it was on all the brackets. That's why we pre-notched everything, so we didn't have to fight through nothing. Everything goes right into where it was. Then you just lay it, fold it back over, exactly what it was.
Ralph, there's no tacking, there's no
Nope,
screwing
no
of anything.
gluing, no nothing, because they weren't done that way from original. This is your harness for your center console, which will go in after the fact, after we get everything done. As you can see, your seat holes will be close to there where they're supposed to be. You don't want to cut nothing off the sides yet until you got everything laid in place the way it's supposed to be. Same thing on your rear carpet. You take right where it's molded, where it's supposed to be there, and just push them down in place. That's all you're doing.
And the overlap, nothing to worry about because that'll be covered by
Right,
seats.
this one here goes over top of it because your front carpet has the finished edge on it. You'll see that the finished edge will always lay on top. Carpets are always made extra long so you have plenty to trim. Your molded edges are right where they need to be in the corners, on the sides, and that's the most important thing of fitting them, is having them lined up.
Ralph, is there one thing that gives you trouble when you're putting in carpet in a car?
Yeah, being fast.
Gets back to being patient, huh?
Right. Just a matter of having a little patience and time. As you can see, now everything fits in real nice the way it's supposed to around there. Your rear carpets are all installed. They sit exactly where they're supposed to. And then now all you have to do is just basically you start putting all your trim back in. See right here where your step plate went, you make one cut, and that'll fold under. That's where your step plate goes. You take, and right there, then your trim panel. Same thing on the front. And then once you have everything in place, all you're doing is taking your plate, your step plate like this, the same way you took them off. You take it, make sure all the holes are in the same place. Look on the floor down here. You'll be able to line it up exactly where they go. And your step plate will go on just like that. That finishes off that edge. But you put in your front kick panel first and your rear panel. And then you put your step plates in. Then you put in your console, then you put everything else in. And that'd be the best way to do a carpet job on these.
Under the Hood is presented by RK Motors Charlotte, specializing in the sale, build, and restoration of world-class collector vehicles. Visit our website at rkmotorscharlotte.com. Automotive passion runs deep at RK Motors Restoration. Our master body, paint, and mechanical technicians have decades of award-winning experience restoring some of the world's finest collector cars. Flawless paint and bodywork, highly accurate interiors, engines that run better than new. Each restoration is completely documented and finished to award-winning Concours quality specifications. From project car to automotive perfection, visit rkmotorscharlotte.com to make it happen.
Now back to the Stan Hywet Father's Day Car Show on Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte. Bill, of all the cars here, I haven't seen another one like this today.
No.
A 1909 REO or Rio runabout.
Correct.
And you've had it how long?
45 years since I bought it already restored. But he says it came out of a barn in New York. And it was pretty much complete, so it was just a matter of restoring it.
That's fortunate to have something that old, that complete, and you've had it for 45 years. What have you done with it over that time?
I just polish it.
Nice. That's my kind of car guy right there.
I maybe put 10, 15 miles on it a year. I tread it everywhere I go. So. The guy I went to get it, who I actually got it from, he had a brush, a 1912 brush, which I wanted. And when my wife saw this one, she says, "You'll never restore the brush." So I've got the Rio. And I told the guy I just wanted the Rio. He says, "Only one of them." So he gave me a price I couldn't refuse, and I got both of them.
Nice.
The brush still looks like it did 45 years ago, though. I haven't restored it. My wife was correct.
Well, you knew that, didn't you?
Yeah.
They're always right.
Yeah.
But you still have it.
Yes.
Explain REO. It's a great story.
The REO are the initials of Ransom E. Olds, who organized the Oldsmobile Company in 1898. And he sold out to his backers in 1904 or 5 because his backers wanted him to make an old, bigger car. So he organized the Rio Company in 05 and used his initials because he couldn't use Oldsmobile again.
I called the Stan Hywet Father's Day Car Show one of the great annual events in the Midwest. I wasn't exaggerating, was I? I'm Jeff Phelps. We'll see you next time on Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte.